Shalom, this is Chaim and
Dr. Kim.
And we are coming to you from, where are we now?
Goode, Virginia.
Goode, Virginia. Weren't we in Goode, Virginia?
We were. We loved it so much we had to come back.
We're back at Shalom Ridge, and we're here to say Happy Hanukkah to you and talk a little bit about Hanukkah in an unconventional way and invite you out this weekend if you're anywhere in Virginia or really on the eastern seaboard or whatever this is, the Northeast, to come on out and to let you know also that our tour, well, 2017 tour it's over. Why, you know, it's not that we're going to stop moving around and teaching, but I think we've run out of 2017. That's basically what's happened. So where should we start? Well, this is a Hanukkah, has extra branches. People call it a menorah or a Hanukkah menorah. And this is the one that my family had growing up. This is one that I remember as a child happening. And of course, we have a dreidel. We got this one more recently. And these are traditions of Hanukkah. And you know what? There's nothing wrong with traditions as long as they don't lead away from the truth. So as you study Hanukkah and you figure these things out, you could decide that, you know, lighting Hanukkah candles leads away from the truth. Maybe you don't. But I'm here to talk about thinking differently, okay? Hanukkah is a time to think differently, especially when we have, you know, the miracle of Hanukkah, that a small band of ragtag, Torah zealous Jews could defeat the biggest army on the planet, right? That's thinking differently. On the dreidel, it says, Nes Gadol Hayam Haya Sham, which is a great miracle happened there. But in Israel it says Po on there because it's happened here. But I want Kim to share about something that happened on the Shabbat of Hanukkah, 16, 17 years ago?
Shabbat of Hanukkah.
Caused you to think a little different.
Yeah, it caused me to think a little different. Well, I walked into a Shabbat Fellowship and he was there and he was teaching stuff I'd never heard before about Hanukkah, on Hanukkah, about the miracle of the oil and did that really happen and how it's, well, you know, if you read in Maccabees, it's just not really there. And that, of course, really blew my mind and opened my eyes and that's when we met. So the rest is history. So the
Shabbat of Hanukkah, which is coming up here, we're going to be here in Goode, is an anniversary of sorts. It's when it all started for us. And also, Hanukkah is a time to dedicate, right? It's the festival of dedication, the Feast of Dedication. So what are you going to dedicate yourself to? This time of year, a lot of people are doing New Year's resolutions. We're not saying to do that. People don't keep those. But dedicating yourself, that's a different story. So this is a time of year for us to dedicate ourselves, rededicate ourselves to Him, to Yehovah, to the Creator of the universe, and what our purpose is and should be. And that took a turn 16 years ago when I met this little lady here that, you know, set our destiny. We now have 6 children and traveling around and doing ministry. And we are always encouraging you to do the same, to find out what your calling is and to walk in your ministry. So our tour, 2017 tour, we were out on the road about 6 months. 6 months we've been on the road. How you feeling?
Ready to take a break?
A little tired. So we're here actually in Goode, Virginia for a while. This is one of our refuge spots to take a little bit of a break, and then we'll be updating you on where we go next. We think we know, but the Father really needs to show us, and that's a part of it. So you could tell this, you know, we're sort of doing this unscripted, as we tend to do, and there's just a couple different things we want to say. But let me get to the invitation, and then I want to get back to teaching you something interesting about Hanukkah, and then inviting you to this big Hanukkah teaching that actually I gave years ago, and it was good to me. I got a wife out of the deal teaching this. So this Shabbat, which is the, what's today, 13th, 14th, is it the 15th? Something like that?
Maybe.
16th? 16th. We're here in Goode, Virginia at Shalom Ridge. The information will be there on the website, but just look it up, Shalom Ridge Fellowship. 2 p.m. is the regular Shabbat Fellowship service, and then at 6 p.m. after sunset is the Hanukkah Party. So come out to that and get the information there. We'll be sharing something, I don't know, more of a free form and having a party to come out here. Moving forward, we don't know. Effectively, the tour is over. We've taught in like 20 different cities. Driven, I think at this point, about 9,000 miles in 6 months. Stayed all over the place, all the way from Miami up to Colorado, Southern California, back to Phoenix, up to Philadelphia, which was, fantastic. Philly was great for a few weeks. That's where I'm from, and reconnected there. And now, tour ends, and we find out what Yehovah wants for
the next
us
chapter.
next. And we get a little bit of rest in thinking things through. This Hanukkah teaching is called What Great Miracle Happened There? And I originally gave this in 1998, 99, something like that, and then came back and gave it at a home fellowship where Kim walked in and we met. And then a few years ago at Arthur Bailey's fellowship congregation, I taught it, and it's a teaching to show you what Hanukkah is really about. We go into the book of Maccabees in a big way, reading a lot from the book of Maccabees, and revealing things that you didn't know, and challenging tradition, because we do need to challenge tradition in order to follow Messiah. There's so much that's rich that's there, and it gets covered over in religion, and we forget about kingdom and what this is really about. In fact, so much so that I got this, I got to keep this. I'm one of 6 children, but I got to keep this because we're more, I don't know, keeping it than the rest of my family. And I was given this, and Kim was looking at it and saw something in this menorah, this Hanukkah menorah, and can you see it? It's amazing. You can do traditions and completely miss it. Can you see what's there? What's there in this menorah that I never realized growing up, Kim?
Hebrew letters.
Hebrew letters. And what do the Hebrew letters say?
It says Yisrael.
It says Yisrael in this. That's interesting, especially with the calling now of repairing the breach and reuniting all of Yisrael. But growing up through the years, I just thought that this was some interesting design and never saw it. And when we look into our traditions, there is a beauty in them. There really is. There's hidden mysteries in them. There's the truth that was originally there when the tradition started, and then they get covered over with religion, and they become something that we just do. Don't do that. Be fresh all the time. Keep your eyes open all the time. Who knows? Your spouse might walk into the room when you're serving Yehovah, and you need. I knew it. I knew it when it happened, didn't I? We were engaged in a few weeks. I knew that one. That one was clear. So happy Hanukkah to you and your family. I know this isn't a commanded biblical feast, but it's part of the timeline. And remember that this is a time of dedication. So we're going to be resting up here, really getting with Yehovah and getting to things that on the road for 6 months we just haven't been able to do. Thank you so much for all of you who have supported us through this tour. You've really made it happen, and we appreciate your continued support, because we're still ministering, but in really big, different ways. And the things that happened in Philadelphia were fantastic, amazing ministry to show us moving things into a different place, maybe not so many teaching dates, but more getting with people and building out this kingdom ministry in bigger ways and reaching the church. The Spirit is breaking open. Kingdom is being seen with basically everybody that we're talking to, even amazingly Jewish people who are becoming more and more receptive to this message. The Sunday people, and of course we in the Hebrew roots, the Messianic Jewish movement, to coming together with a kingdom message. And this is what we've been teaching, since we've been on the road now, completing our second tour, is kingdom, and the message is being received. So, Hanukkah, ready? You're going to make some latkes?
I am.
What happened with the latkes?
Well, I brought latkes the day that I met him, and they weren't even fresh. Yesterday we were talking about I need to make them fresh. No, they're really good even the day
She
after.
walked in with used latke, with old latke, and I
Leftovers.
said, and brought them into this home fellowship. I said, I think this girl's Jewish. She's bringing potato pancakes, latkes, and I was an authority there, which is good, because I was teaching and started interviewing you right away, even though you didn't know it. And so, wishing you a great, could you get a better Hanukkah gift than a spouse? Whatever it is that the Father is showing you, whatever it is that you feel is yours in the kingdom, really go for it. It is the Father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom. And just like in ages past that he restored the kingdom to Israel, right? He's restoring the kingdom to Israel, but it's a different kingdom at this point with Yeshua coming. That's a whole other thing. That's the kingdom teaching that if you've seen us on tour, you've seen, and soon we'll be getting out on video. So happy Hanukkah from the Goldmans, from Goode, and we hope to see you this Shabbat. So I'm going to put my traditions down and for a moment, and I say thank you for supporting Repairing the Breach, because wherever we've gone, we're seeing such great repair, restoration, and the raising up of foundations of many generations that we would all be called repairers of the breach. So repairing the breach, baby, and
Shalom.
happy Hanukkah.
Happy Hanukkah.